Hi everyone, it's Vice Cherry here. Today's topic is somewhat a continuation to my previous video, to my previous topic, in sense that previously I talked more about AI, and this time I want to talk more about investment into games, especially early access or pre-early access, so to say, crowdfunding and so on. So why I'm talking about it is because it's related to again Stars and Island, and it's a topic that came up while talking to some people about the game, about the situation around the game, and I noticed some things that left me with some question marks, I guess. I do have my own opinion, my own perspective, but I didn't understand why they are thinking or approaching the situation the way they are doing it. So first of all, one complaint was that there was a Kickstarter for a game, and the Kickstarter raised more than $300,000, something like that. And the complaint was that even though it's so much money, the team has not done enough to show what is really going on, has not been transparent enough, has not revealed enough about the team, and so on and so on. So anyway, how I say it is that if you are willing to support someone, but you don't pay for the product itself, you are just paying for some promise or for some hope or whatever, it's risky business, right? It's something that when you do it, you know that you are just willing to give up your money. And you should accept the fact that you will never see your money again, and you may not see anything for your money other than making someone a bit richer. At least this is how I see it. Of course, I'm not saying it's okay to run away with someone's money. Of course, you should fulfill your promises and so on. But at the same time, it doesn't mean that this is how it always works. Because the history has shown that people do quite often run away with such money, and that's basically it, you know. So if someone actually does create a game, even if it doesn't meet exact expectations, but it is at least close enough, then I think it's already good enough. And this leads me to another thing that connects to it is an early access game. So there are complaints that games released in early access, but they don't meet the expectations. Some things are sometimes not going as expected when it comes to timeline. Some things are not going as expected when it comes to giving feedback and it's not being listened or whatever. And people are complaining about many things, and some are even saying that I wish I could get the refund, but now I have more than a few hours in the game and I can't get a refund through Steam or whatever. But if you buy a game in early access, then again, this means you are accepting the risk that it may never even finish. I don't understand why people are paying for early access games and they have so high expectations, and then later they complain like crazy if their expectations are not met. I think if you are paying for early access game, then you are accepting the risk that it's kind of 50-50. It will go your way, it may not go your way, but I think because it's not guaranteed, again based on the reality, what the history has shown, that quite often early access games don't even finish or just don't end up in the way that people expected it to, then again it's just 50-50. And people just shouldn't buy games in early access if they are not willing to take that risk, if they cannot deal with that risk, if they cannot handle with the risk. From my perspective, it's just gambling. And of course, if you are losing while gambling, I do understand it feels frustrating. I do understand some people want to vent out that frustration and so on. But then again, does it really help that game to improve? Does it help them to progress? Because they already have to deal with so much information. Everyone thinks they are so entitled because the game is in early access and they decided to support the game in early access by paying money for it. But again, I personally think it's just gamble. And while I totally understand that those people, those game companies, whatever, they should always keep their promises, they should be transparent and so on and so on. But then again, whatever they do, whatever they say, I wouldn't take it for granted. I wouldn't believe it 100%. And for this reason, whenever I'm buying a game in early access, first of all, I'm making sure that what I'm paying for is worth the money that I'm going to pay. So for this reason, if I'm not willing to gamble as much, then I'm just waiting. I'm looking for streamers, I'm looking for YouTubers or whatever to see if I like the game as it is now. I'm not paying for what I'm hoping to happen in the future. Well, maybe a tiny bit of it is there, but I'm mainly paying for what's there already. And if I don't like what's there already, if I'm not satisfied with the current state, then I'm not going to pay that money. I'm going to wait so that I don't have to complain later, because I don't want to take that risk. And I know if I don't want to risk it, then I'm going to wait. I'm not going to pay and then complain that, oh, I paid money but it wasn't worth it. Nowadays there is internet, people can look up so much information online before making a purchase. I don't really understand why people made a purchase and then start complaining after that. Of course, sometimes some things may come out through your experience that you couldn't even think about, to look for, to ask for, and so on. I do understand it, but based on what I have seen, seems like majority of people just go in with high expectations and at the same time go in somewhat blind, and then once they purchase the game, then all of a sudden everything starts going downhill. Here is a problem, there is a problem, it doesn't meet my expectations, I'm not being listened to, what did I pay for, why am I supporting this early access game if they don't listen to me, and so on and so on. I mean, again, this is just my opinion, but I think it's important to first do research and always accept the reality that such early access games may not even finish at all. So if you buy a game in early access, then you just pay for what's available now. To pay for some hope, it's just pointless. There is a considerably high chance that you may end up with disappointment this way. But if you paid for what's available now and you're actually satisfied because you did your research and so on, then there will be just less problems, less headache, less stress and so on. And I think it's not just better for players, but it's also better for game companies, because it's actually quite tough to keep working on your early access game if you constantly keep hearing negative feedback from here and there, and you see all those entitled people who are giving feedback by saying, well, if you don't listen to me, then you will be done for good, no one is going to support you, even threaten them maybe that we are going to go online, give you bad feedback, big influencers are going to bring your game down. I mean, who can feel motivated like this? I think what we should do instead is try to support them. But anyway, some things also may just take more time than expected. It's normal, I think, and while I do understand that it can come with some frustration and so on, but I'm just saying that it doesn't help if players are becoming negative and even threatening or whatever. Just wait, be patient. If you paid for early access game, then you should have already known the risks that come with it. But if you want this game to still be a good game, to have a 1.0 release and come with many pros, fix many things and bring many new things that players were asking for, then just be patient and try to encourage the team. When they release 1.0 and it's not at all what they promised, it's quite far from it, it's quite evident that they didn't listen to any players and so on, that they didn't consider majority of the popular feedback, so to say, then I do understand that some complaints, some negative feedback and so on, it's probably deserved. But before that, no need to raise your voice. Just try to be patient, be calm and wait. That's it from me. Maybe I was a little bit harsh the way I talked. I hope any of you who are watching this video didn't feel somehow attacked or insulted or whatever, because I know nowadays there are so many sensitive people out there. And some people even find problems where there are no real problems and take things too personally when it's nothing personal. But yeah, it's just my opinion, my point of view. This is how I see things. This is how I would try to deal with things. And of course, everyone else can do whatever they want. I'm just telling my perspective. That's all. Anyway, see you. Take care. Bye.